the man that have seen affliction by the rod of the I Am's wrath. The I Am that hath led me and have brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me is the I Am turned. The I Am turneth the I Am's hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin have the I Am made old. The I Am hath broken my bones. The I Am hath builded against me and compressed me with gall and travail. Yahweh hath set me in dark places and have as they that be dead of old. Yahweh has hedged me about that I cannot get out. Yahweh hath made my chain heavy. Also when I cry and shout, the I Am shutteth out my prayer. The I Am hath enclosed my ways with hewn stone and have made my paths crooked. Yahuwah was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. Yahuwah had turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. Yahuwah made me desolate. Yahuwah had bent Yahuwah's bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. The I Am hath caused the arrow of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was in derision to all my people, and their song all the day. Yahuwah has filled me with bitterness. Yahuwah hath made me drunken with wormwood. The I Am hath also broken my teeth with gravel stones. The I Am covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forgot prosperity. Lamentations chapter 3 verses 1 through 17. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. All praises to the Most High. Glory to the Most High's holy name. Oh, we give glory to the Most High. Yes. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And we thank God for you, and also those of you who have been with us since the beginning, and those of you who have been with us here and there's about poking your head in and out. We thank God for those of you who have just subscribed, as well as those of you that are about to subscribe, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're Lamentations. We ought to cry for the children of Jacob. From the time of the Exodus from Egypt, even to today, the children of Jacob lie in confusion. Many have forgot about their God, their power. Many have went the way of the heathen into this Islam and this Christianity. It's something else. Now, I've torn my New Testaments out of my collected books because it doesn't belong there. Yes, I've torn them out. I don't want to hear about this. I know I'm going to hear it anyway. I'm going to hear about Islam, and I'm going to hear about Christianity or the New Testament. Ambiguity is what I call it. Confusion of faces. It belongs to us. But we have the truth, even the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. There is none purer than that. For that is the essence of the Most High. Is fairness. That is righteousness before the Almighty. The rest can confuse you. Well, we don't have to do the do's and don'ts. Don't do the do's and don'ts. Just let me come up there and delete you real quick. Don't do the do's and don'ts. Just let me go lay with your wife anytime I get ready. Don't do the do's and don'ts. Let me come in your house and take what I want. Or just snatch it out your mouth or out your hand. Don't do the do's and don'ts. See, this is the foolishness of what people have come against the law with. And there's nothing but of the Satans. That's it. They have done this. Think about it. Don't turn away from your wickedness and leave a sacrifice before the Most High. Just a sacrifice is only a thanksgiving. That's all it is. A thanksgiving that God had forgiven, God had pardoned, God have had compassion. These are what they're for. And God, we don't understand why sacrifices were supposed to be, but don't let man tell you this stuff. Man will tell you anything because he's led by what? Spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts. And even Deuteronomy chapter 28 shows how God says God will make you to forget God ever existed. And this is so. This is happening even today. But the man and the woman that would pass on to say, regardless, and be sincerely like Job, though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. I shall trust that he shall lead me into all truth. I shall trust that he shall lead me into obedience and to loving him like I never loved anyone before. I ain't talking about no sensual love. I ain't talking, some of you understand only the sensual. I'm talking about that love of obedience. That geared toward obedience, yes. Geared toward acknowledgement. This is all the laws is for you to acknowledge what is already in you. What's already in you is what the law bids you to acknowledge. You can read it if you read the disciplines. You can read it if you read the Buddhist doctrine. You can read it if you read Islamic or the Christian doctrine. It's there. It's in you. But many ignore it. Many are swayed by devils, just as Eve was when she should have just, and Adam, the commandment, Adam, regardless of what you see that you love here, that is all you need. But nevertheless, we're in the book of Job, chapter 28. Yes, chapter 28 of the book of Job. And Job is really an intriguing man. An Edomite, yes, I say Edomite all the time because Job is an Edomite. And also we're going to come with the law even more a few times a week. We'll see. We might come less with going through the scriptures because the scriptures, we should know them, but it makes for good reading and study. But we're still going to continue with the scriptures until we finish with the Apocrypha and the book of Malachi, unto the book of Malachi. Yes, we're going to keep going through that and commenting. Yes, not preaching, but commenting. But the fact is that the comments are based on what we've just read. That's all. That's why there's no argument against it. Who can argue against what you just read? They can say it is false. Yes, you can say that. Some of it is. But commenting, it's not meaning that you're telling a lie. You're only reading what some translator put out. And this is what I'm reading, what translators have put out. Some of it's true, some of it's not. Some of it's inserted, some of it is crooked. But by the law, we know all things. Yes. That little old bitty tiny law. Yes, we know it. Job chapter 28. Surely there is a vein for the silver, and a place for the gold where they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass molten of the stone. He setteth the end to darkness, and searches out all perfection, the stones of darkness, the shadow of death. Yes. The flood breaketh out from the inhabitant, even the waters forgotten of the foot. they are dried up, and they are gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and under it is turned up as it were fire. Volcanoes is what he's talking about. He's talking about how the seed falls to the ground, and it goes, and it's no more. It does a metamorphosis and comes up as the plant that was in the seed. You notice one thing I've learned, that the placenta is a product of the sperm. Period. It is. The woman does not. The man gives the baby everything it needs to draw from the woman, the nurturing from the woman. No, all you ever did was nurture a baby, my dear Aqua sister. That's all you ever did. Most life comes from the man, because life was breathed into a man. And from the man came the woman. God extracted the woman. How did he do the animals? I don't know. And if you can find out, you tell me, because it's not written anywhere. It doesn't matter really. What is that to me? But how me, how us, how we multiply after our kind. This is what God is talking about. Let's continue. The flood breaketh out of the inhabitant. Verse 4. Even the waters forgotten of the foot, and they are dried up and gone away from men. As for the earth, out of it comes bread, and under it is turned up as it were fire. He's describing things that are happening in the earth and under the earth. Yes. The stones of it are the place of sapphires, and it has dust of gold. Yes, this is what you find. You find this if you look on different social media how-to and learning channels. You'll find out that that's all you can get out of the stones that are near the top of the earth. It's mostly dust and small pebbles, or whatever you want to call it. Yes, there is a path which no fowl knoweth, which the vulture's eye have not seen. Okay. The lion's whelp have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hand upon the rock, and overturneth the mountains by the roots. Now, you have some people who would say that the Quran is the only thing that talks about the roots of the mountains. Yes, mountains do have roots, but the Bible was the first one to have pushed that. It got it out of the Bible. However they might explain it, it's out of the Bible, just like the New Testament. That's another book. That's another collection of letters that you're dealing with. The same as Quran. At least they had sense enough to say, well, they have their own book. But Christianity wanted to latch on to the law and then try to take the law and turn it away, to try to make them say we should sin how we want to sin. This is why they killed Jacob many times, to put it plainly, enslaved him and everything else. This is how Christianity did it, by removing the law. We are not under the law anymore, they say. Yeah, the Satans are a liar. And it says, the lion's whelp have not trodden it, nor fierce lion passed by it. He putteth forth his hands upon the rock. He overturneth the mountains by the root. He cutteth out the rivers among the rocks, and his eye seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the floods from overflowing, and the things that is hid bringeth he forth to light. But where shall wisdom be found? He's talking about wisdom. How do you understand the earth? How do you understand all these things? You investigate. You explore. Not the explorer that the colonizer have done. I discovered America. You discovered nothing. Your ancestor discovered nothing. There were people already there. Everywhere you went in the world, there were people already there. All you ever done was colonize, kill, steal, and destroy. That's it. Even to this day, the truth is being found out that many colonizers, the ancestors, were really taking from those countries whom God had blessed to make their countries great. And now, or either depleted everything in that country, now the current country is looking for resources everywhere else. Russia has its own resources. China has resources. And if China doesn't have these resources, they're willing to buy them and purchase them or trade for them. Yes. So the rest of them, you ask, where are they getting all this stuff from? They're getting it from Africa. They're getting it from Russia or the Russian federations all around. Ukraine really is Russia. All that stuff belongs to what we call Russia or the USSR, the Soviet Union, or every one of those names you can call it. But they had their own. They really don't need the rest of the world per se. No one but the Western nations. That's it. They need the other nations. They have the nations would not be no more. You think those nuclear bombs would stay nuclear? You think those other bombs they have and gunpowder and everything would stay that way? No. They would be a third world country like everybody else, and they can't take it. They talk about survival. That's not survival. That's just learning something that you never knew anyway. And you got it from Africa, Indians, Mexicans, or what do you call it, South Americans. These are where these survival tactics and all these tactics of war come from. You got it from Africa. All the things, and then try to acclaim them to yourselves. This is not good. And just as I notice one favorite orator says, the master builder has been hit in the head. You forgot where you come from. Not only Jacob, but all the children of Noah. You forgot because your parents taught you nothing, remembered nothing because of their sin against the Most High. Now, he says now, and we're in verse 12, where shall wisdom be found? Where is the place of understanding? Where is it? How can you find this out? The rest of the wisdom that you know is from those who have sought the Most High. Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The depth saith, it is not in me. The sea saith, this is not with me. Now this is a man before the time of, should I say, Jacob. This is a man during the time of Jacob. This is a man during the time of Moses. You can find his name, I believe it's mentioned once. We'll find that for you. Once or twice in the book of Jubilees or Jasher. During the time of, he might have been a young man then, during the time of the hunter before the Most High. Yes, and you can figure you can figure out who that is, yes. It says now, verse 15, it cannot be gotten for gold. You cannot get wisdom for gold, although you can have wisdom because of gold, because you learn how to use gold. You learn how to smelt it. Yes, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. No, you can't get wisdom, silver. No, you can get educated. You can get education, but education without application doesn't bring wisdom. You just know. It says it cannot be valued by the gold of Ophir with the precious onyx, or the precious onyx. It says thereof. I think we lost our place a little bit here. Onyx, or we're in verse 16, or the sapphire. This is the way this is scrolling up. And the gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it cannot be for Jews of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. Wisdom. What wisdom is he talking about? There are many types of wisdom. And we talking here with Old English now. We're dealing with Old English. Oh, that I wish I could speak another language that is more toward the language of Hebrew, if not ancient Hebrew, and read it too, and then thus find the books. It would be so nice. Yes, it would be so nice to just delve into the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High in the native language that it is written. He says, from whence then comes wisdom? Where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living. Somebody says, well, God has a wife. It says she. Fool. Understand this. Wisdom is nurturing. Yes. Wisdom will give you life, will give you strength. Wisdom is nurturing. So is a woman's body. Nurturing. Everything given to a woman is nurturing. From her uterus to her breast for the baby. When we grow to understand this, our reasoning for looking at the woman will be very much different than what we see today. A good feeling or whatever, man. We've lost it. The Satans have just gotten a hold of us and turned us backward. The same thing with the man. There's family. There's stability. There's children who can play and learn from the man of what the things that they know. And when they stub their foot on a toe, they go to their mother and cry, and it'll be okay. And when he becomes a man, he has no one to cry to, but to stand up. That sort of reminds me of they call them the people of the 300. Those soldiers, their only thing was the mission. And the mission unto death, that was all it was. The mission to the last man, to the last child. Even though they had families and they made babies before they left, they knew that for the mission, they may never come back. Many of us, we've been to our militaries and our armies and all this other stuff, Air Force, in order to secure, should I say, income. Maybe a historical account. But the thing is that mission, the same thing with the Most High. We do those things, we live the life, it's a mission. Now let's continue. I digress. That's stories for other days. But either way, the Spartan is what I'm talking about. The 300 Spartans. Men that were trained only for the mission. If the mission failed, they die. If the mission succeeds, they may come back home. But there was no coming back home unless there was victory in the mission. Yes. Some of you want to be these glorified Spartans. Story for other days, because I sure can get into that. But either way, he says now, gold cannot equal it, verse 17. No mention of it in verse 18 shall be made of coral, of pearl, of the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it. Topaz is beautiful. But nevertheless, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. No. Wisdom is much better. Whence then cometh wisdom? Where is the place of understanding? So wisdom can get you gold. Wisdom can get you silver. Wisdom can get you topaz. Wisdom can get you diamonds. Wisdom can secure you a country. Wisdom, however good or evil, it can get you a harem of women if you want them. He says, seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living and kept close from the fowls of the air, destruction and death say, we have heard the frame thereof with our eyes. God understands the way and he know the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heavens. Verse 25. To make the weight of the winds, and he weigheth the waters by the measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, he then see it and declared, and he prepared it, yea, and searched it out. But what is good wisdom? And unto man he says, behold, I love it. The fear of the I am, the fear of Tatan Zambi, Sinini Nanini, the Heya, the Ya'Allah, Yahuwah, Yahusha, or should I say, yes, Yahuwah, not Yahusha, that's not even good. He said the fear of the I am is wisdom. That is more precious than anything you can get by whatever wisdom you want. True wisdom is first to fear God. Yes. And to depart from evil is understanding. Oh, blessed be the name of the Most High. Even Job understood all of this. But we chase after things that really is no good. They tend not toward life, not in this earth, nor toward the life to come. It's all anything other than the fear of the I am, and to understand. And the I am constantly tells us that you understand and know me. That is wisdom. When you understand a person, you begin to know them. This is the same thing with a woman with her husband, a child with his parents. And a child watches this to see how their mother figures out their father, and how their father sees their mother, and how he deals with her. These things are so. And to part from evil is understanding even the wisdom that comes by the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High. And with that, we will